Shabbat, celebrating Hanukkah, celebrating this season of darkness, which we answer with our own light and increasing light. And in fact, tonight, abundant light. I would say the menorah has tipped into the abundant light side of things. Is that me making a mess with the noise? Am I okay? Okay. You can hear me? Shabbat Shalom to our community who is joining us on Zoom. We are so delighted. And if you turn around, you can wave to our Zoom community here. We are bringing our two communities together as we celebrate Shabbat. How many, this is your first time back in our sanctuary? How incredible to have you home. How incredible in this season of dedication and of rebuilding, to be rebuilding together. Indeed, Hine Matov, how good it is to have you back in our community, to have each other in our community tonight. Hine Matov. Going to get ready to light our Chanukah for the sixth night of Hanukkah. And before we do, we'd like to just plant a little seed in your minds. We called this service the Points of Light of Hanukkah Shabbat service. Those of us can remember a presidency that used that, but get that out of your mind. And what we'd like to do is have 6 people for this sixth night, after we light the Shabbat candles, come up here and share with us something that is filling you with light this season. A person, an experience, anything you want, something that is filling you with light. And people on Zoom, you are invited to this also. So just be thinking if you might want to be a person who comes up to share some light with our community. And let us turn to our Hanukkah candles. Do I get to light? You get to light. And I wonder if anyone else is feeling this. It's very emotional. It has been so long since we've lit these candles together.
V'tzivanu lecha how profound it feels this year to be singing of the miracles that happened back then and the miracles in our own time. And that.
Yeah, it's a funny thing.
So if you couldn't hear, Audrey just suggested that we sing Shehechianu tonight because this is the first night we are all together here on Zoom and on Facebook and on the Temple website and on YouTube and here in this holy place as well.
So usually it's sung for the first night, but let's bring it to night 6 and extend the joy of that first moment that it marks for each other.
Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Like I think everybody, we've gotten very used to reading each other's eyes in this time when we can't see each other's smiles, but I am seeing that light. We are feeling that light in your eyes and the smile in your eyes.
So in the warmth of our candles, in the warmth of each other's company, we thought we would start out with some Hanukkah songs, really taking the time to mark that it is Hanukkah before we move into our Shabbat prayers, to just sing ourselves into the joy of being together. A note about the screens, in case this is your first time since you've been back, that these were installed. Here's what we've noticed so far, that they're wonderful for giving you the lyrics, but you have to be careful with them, as you do with all screens. So my suggestion is, right now, choose the screen that's opposite from where you're sitting. It's going to turn your body in so that you end up facing into the community. Otherwise, what happens is I watch you rotate like clocks over the course of the service. And I would rather have you rotating in towards each other. Yeshuati lechana elisabeach tikon betefilati lesham toda nezabeach ve'etachin motbeach mitzacham nabeach azegmor b'shir mizmor Chanukah hamizbeach azegmor b'shir problem is you have to come sit near us in order to grab them. But we promise we won't bite or anything. We'll be super friendly. So come on in and celebrate with us. We're so glad you're here.
And if there are any people from our learning corps here tonight who would like to come up to lead this next song, Chanukah, oh Chanukah, come light the menorah.
Come on up.
You are so welcome. You do not have to if you don't feel like it, but you're welcome to come up here. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Chanukah, oh Chanukah, come light the menorah. Let's have a party, we'll all dance a hora. Gather round the table, we'll give you a treat. Silly won't you play with a lot that's to eat. And while we are playing, the candles are burning low. One for each night they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. One for each night they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. Chanukah, oh Chanukah, come light the menorah. Let's have a party, we'll all dance the hora. Gather round the table, we'll give you a treat. Silly, won't you play with a lot that's to eat? And while we are playing, the candles are burning low. One for each night they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. One for each night they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. And how nice is it to have our young people back in the sanctuary again? Woot! Hey guys, stay up for one more song. Silvivon, so, Chanukah, Huchato, Chanukah, Huchato, Silvivon, so, Chag Simcha, Hulam, Neskadon Hayasham, Neskadon Hayasham, Chag Simcha, Hulam, Silvivon, so, Chanukah, Huchato, Chanukah, Huchato, Silvivon, so, Chag Simcha, Hulam, Neskadon Hayasham, Neskadon Hayasham, Chag Simcha, Hulam. You guys, thank you so much for coming up here. Woot. And you guys,
Yep.
you can have a seat.
Totally. Oh, Gabe.
And now we turn to our Shabbat candle lighting.
And so, I am curious about that seed we planted as we prepare for these next 2 candles. If there are people who would like to share points of light that in this dark time, we find ourselves needing to look for it and name it and lift it up. And what a joy it would be to do so in community together, to increase the light of this community. So does anybody have a point of light that they would like to share?
And
Yeah.
if you're on Zoom, just raise your hand. Don and Dan, our tech gurus, are watching out for you too, because we can just unmute you.
If you want people to hear, unfortunately, you have to use our mics these days.
Can you hear me?
What, talk into a mic?
One mic?
Yeah, into
Okay,
a mic,
talking
yeah.
into a mic.
Yeah, get it close to you.
Thank you. So on the first night of Hanukkah, I was in Ohio with Phoebe's, my daughter's other mom, who I'm not with anymore, but she's part of my very close, nearest and dearest family. And we lit Hanukkah candles, and I looked at the menorahs that she had out, and there were 2 from her mother, one of which is now Phoebe's. It went from Robin, who was my ex, to our daughter Phoebe, but Phoebe didn't want to light it in her apartment in Atlanta, so Robin had them there. And the third one was even more sort of gave me a lot of light, which was her sister's. And her sister passed away 2 years ago, I guess, right at the beginning of the pandemic. And so I thought about the light, you know, and there was this light that was from people who are no longer here. And I thought about, I think I told you about this, that there, you know, we have this thing, you can talk about it if you want, but that as long as there's some theory or something that if somebody speaks the name of a person who is no longer with us, then that person doesn't really die, that stays alive. And I thought this lighting of these menorahs was like that. It was a remembrance and an honoring and a speaking of these two people who were very precious to me, that are no longer here. So that brought me light and joy.
Thank you, Audrey.
The light and joy of those who helped and loved us into this season. Absolutely. Anybody else like to add a point of light that they're experiencing or looking for? Oh, do you have a point of light? Do you want to share? I would love to hear a point of light. You want to tell your mom? Well, while she's telling her mom, I want to tell you that she's a little point of light, because we remember when she was this big in our sanctuary. I have some pictures of her fitting under this table, actually, on Shabbat. And so you coming back into our sanctuary today and raising your hand is a point of light for this community as well. And she's got light up shoes, so that's pretty good light that you're bringing.
And maybe while we're waiting for Naomi to gather her thoughts, do we have someone else who might have something that is bringing you light? You can even stand up from your seat if you'd like to. Oh, Artie, come on up. So Artie is saying that there's a lot of light just happening right here in this sanctuary. He's looking at all of the sources of light we have right here. Thank you for that.
She doesn't know what it is, but she feels the light of this moment. What wisdom right there. Absolutely. Sometimes you don't need to be able to name it, you need to be able to feel the light of this moment. Absolutely. Other light that is being shared, yeah. Yeah, you can.
We just have a very joyous thing that we celebrated this week, actually, today. Our landlady, who was living and broke in her pelvis, just came home to the
For the light of healing when it comes, how deep is that light? Sorry about this. Do I see a hand for light? Yep. You could say it to your mom, or you could say it to me, either. Or you could both come up. Absolutely.
Ooh.
We apologize.
The menorah means sharing because you're giving more light into the world.
Oh my goodness. The menorah is sharing because you are giving more light into this world. Absolutely. Beautiful. Any thoughts, final thoughts or reflections on light?
Do we have any Zoom folks stand?
Any Zoom participants want to add light to us? No? Well, you are bringing your own light into our sanctuary by choosing to connect with us.
Oh, we
yeah,
got
Rob. Yeah.
I just think that we are all so happy to be back here in the sanctuary. And as you look around us, especially look up here, that's Rabbi Harry, that we are all points of light amongst ourselves. We bring light to each other, and they help us bring light to everybody. So thank you to all of you, and thank you to them for helping bring light into this activity.
How deep to bring each of your lights into this sanctuary, into this community, and to add them to our Shabbat celebration tonight, so that our lights can continue carry us through the dark times. And that is what we celebrate on Shabbat, that there is light available to us, even when we least expect it.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehad Shel Shabbat.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
And I will add as a sixth point of light, something that is bringing me such joy is the sound of other people's voices, the sound of your voices after such a long time. Huge source of light. So let's sing in the Shabbat, everyone. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, ziri biri biri bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat 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 shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat 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 shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat 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 shalom.
We continue with Lecha Dodi, singing ourselves into Shabbat and Shabbat into our community. We are doing the whole Lecha Dodi?
First and last.
First and last. So we are going to do stanzas 1 and stanza 9. So we're going to turn to page 11 in your prayer books, and we're going to sing the first and the last stanza of Lecha Dodi. When we reach that stanza 9, I'll gesture like this. It's an invitation to stand in body or in spirit, to turn to the back of the community, a way of showing our welcoming to all who want to enter for Shabbat. And we can also re-welcome our Zoom participants at that time, sending our love and connection to them.
Lechan Dodi lechan ala yala la yala la yala Pele Shabbat Mechavela yala yala Lechan Dodi lechan ala yala la yala la yala Pele Shabbat Mechavela Oh Shamo V'Zachor
our community together across time and space. We continue on page 16, calling each other home into this community of prayer with Baruch, dear one.
Baruch, dear one, Shekinah, holy name. When I call on the light of my soul, I come home. Baruch, dear one, Shekinah, holy name. When I call on the light of my soul, I come home. Baruch, dear one, Shekinah, holy name. When I call on the light of my soul, I come home. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד.
You may be seated. We continue with the V'ahavta, the acts of love and kindness that are to fill our life in response to the unity of all that lives. We'll start with the first paragraph of page 18. Put your finger in page 20. We'll jump directly to the second paragraph of page 20.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
continue with Micha Mocha, the words on page 21 that the Israelites sang when they crossed to freedom. Words of prayer for the day when all are free in this world.
Micha Mocha ba'elim Adonai. Micha Mocha nedar b'kodesh Nora tehilot Osef pele Osef pele Micha Mocha ba'elim Adonai. Micha Mocha nedar b'kodesh Nora tehilot Osef pele Osef pele.
We turn to page 25, preparing ourselves to enter the Amidah, the series of prayers that are the heart of our service this evening. We'll pray the first three blessings together in community, letting our voices and our prayers become one, and then taking the time for our own personal prayers and reflections. Please rise in body or in spirit.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu ve'imoteinu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Hasadim Tovim V'Konei Hakol V'Zocher Chasdei Avot Ve'imahot U'Mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem Le'ma'an Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai Mechaye hakol atah Rav lehoshia Mechakel chayim bechesed Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בגבורות, ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. Turn to the words of Misha Berach, our prayer for healing, on page 130. We pray for those who are in need of healing of mind, body, spirit, mood, and include yourself in this. I will read the list of those we are praying for as a community and then offer you an opportunity to raise your hand to add a name to this list. Pray for the healing of Jessica Klein, Matt Figelman, for Kathy Grossman, Fred Moses, Teresa Brugman, Jack Keller, Adam Gelb, for Ed Clayman, Danny Blair, for Joyce, for our own Roberta Lasky, who we're so thrilled to have in the sanctuary tonight, for Roger Landay, Roz Hoffman, Robin Einzig, Tori Macia, Stanley Roth, Brenda Meyerson, for Patty Richard, Diana Sanders, Andy Cassell, Harry Manko, for Jessica Guertin, for Marty Wisnant, for Denise Pappas, for Joyce and David Adamson, the Primmerman family, Tom Alexander, Al Levin, for Joyce Catania, for Susan Zimmerman-Inney, Arlene Norris, and Jeff Wisnia, for Jonathan Charon, Deb Midman, for Neil Daniels Midman, for Susan Trendall, Melissa Martin and her daughter, for Pat Lazar, Harriet Levy, Ann Pillow, Judy Donaldson, Colleen Berry, for Alan and Joanne Travis, for Fiona Sutton, Norman and Fran Waxler, for Sue Boardman, Angela Panzone, for Linda and Fred Lukasik, Nancy Alpert, Debbie Gilman, Patty Shepard, Jennifer Chase, Ellen Lee, for Vicki Oman, for Barbara Kulanane, for Elizabeth Wall, Anya Cobble, for Bud and Jeannie Baluta, Mary Ann and Jeff Meagle, for Annie Graham and her daughter Sandy, Rich and Joan Richmond, for Ken Blumberg, Ayelet Bat Chava Hirschmoel, for Claude Lieber, Nancy Lazaro Lieber, and for Kathy Nath. If there is someone you would like to add who is in need of this healing energy, please raise your hand. I'd be honored to call on you. Please.
Amanda Hill, Pete Gaskin.
Margaret Saxon,
For all of those names, for all those in our heart tonight, let us join together in the words of the Mishaberach. With the words of a prayer for peace for the whole world. Oseh Shalom Bimromav. May the one who makes peace in the heavens help us to make peace here. Page 31 in your prayer books. Makes
We move towards the concluding prayers of our service this evening, turning to page 44 for the words of Mourner's Kaddish. There is somebody you are remembering today, somebody whose name you would like to bring into our sanctuary and community. I invite you to raise your hand so that I can indicate towards you and you can say that person's name out loud.
My wife, Teresa Raisin. My mother, Audrey Feynman.
My good friend, Bruce Ross.
My mother, Roz Plain.
For those of us who are using technology to join us, we invite you to use the chat function of the technology you are using to add the names of those you are remembering into our community. In addition, our community acknowledges this week the death of Joshua Fay. We are in the period of Shloshim for Michael Slonim. We stand in acknowledgement of the yard sites of Judy Ganson and John Horowitz. And we are in this first year of memory for Jack Langerman, Gladys Schuker, and Roberta Lipperman. Using the words of our tradition, we become one community bound together in the sacred act of remembrance. Page 44. Please rise and embody your spirit. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah be'alma divra chirute ve'amlich malchute v'chayechon uvyom echon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevorach Leolam U'almei Almaya Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitromam V'yitnaseh V'yitadar V'yitaleh V'yitalal Shemei Dekudesha Brichu Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'shirata Tushbechata V'nechemata Damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shamaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. May the one who makes peace in the heavens make peace for us, for all Israel and all the earth, to which we all say. You may be seated.
We are about to conclude our service, but first, just a couple of announcements. We're looking forward to a special Chanukah Havdalah tomorrow at 4 p.m. and just want to say how wonderful it is to celebrate the sixth night of Hanukkah with all of you here in the sanctuary and on Zoom and all around. We have a special announcement from the folks in our community who are leading the Project Ezra drive this year. And they want us to know that because of increased need in our area, instead of preparing 400 meals this year, they are planning on preparing 500 meals, which means they're going to need more volunteers. So if you are able, please sign up as soon as possible. You'll see a sign up link here and on Zoom, and this announcement will go out in Monday's update as well, so just pay special attention to that. And we know that one of the draws of this evening was to have some hot chocolate and donuts outside, so we hope you brought warm clothes. Just want to say a special thank you to Michael Glicksman, who is a source of light. That's who I should have said brings me light. Michael Glicksman and Martha Berman came in to help as well. So we have hot chocolate brewing down there for you and donuts. So to get us in the mood, not that we need much to get us in the mood for such a thing, but
I'm already there.
let us sing the song, Sufganio. That is what we call them on Hanukkah donuts. Here we go. Sufganio, Sufganio. Oh, I love those Sufganio. Sufganio, Sufganio. Oh, I love those Sufganio. All right, here's the recipe. Here we go. Go into the kitchen, heat up the oil. Wait until it's ready to boil. You roll up the dough, put the jelly in the middle. Drop them in the pot and listen to them sizzle. Let me hear you sizzle. Nice. Oh, Sufganio, Sufganio. Oh, I love those Sufganio. Sufganio, Sufganio. Oh, I love those Sufganio. All right, here we go. Some like them hot, some like them cold. Nobody likes them when they get too old. Raspberry, strawberry, chocolate too. Those Sufganio are so good for you, we wish. Those Sufganio, Sufganio. Oh, I love those Sufganio. Sufganio, Sufganio. Oh, I love those Sufganio. All right, the last verse. I love them with my breakfast. I love them with my lunch. Dinner time, snack time, I gobble up a bunch. Only problem is when I eat too many, my tummy starts to hurt and I feel real funny. Those Sufganio, Sufganio. Oh, I love those Sufganio. Sufganio, Sufganio. Oh, how I love those Sufganio. Shabbat Shalom. Happy Hanukkah, everyone. We'll see you downstairs. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, people on Zoom. Good to see you.
Shabbat Shalom. Happy Hanukkah.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Happy Hanukkah.
Good to see everybody. You're my light.
You were fun to see, Karen. Enjoyed it.
Thank you. Good seeing you.